Hello everyone, I am Anish and I'm here to speak today about my blog, which is on food insecurities in the future. Well, we might not have thought about it until now, but what might happen to us if people stop dying and childbirth rate kept on rising? Well, there won't be enough space for all of us to survive, and secondly, there might not be enough food to sustain life on Earth. So, thinking about it, if time is infinite, space is finite, so where will we farm if people kept on giving birth? So, over the time and over agricultural development, there might be new ways of farming called intelligent farming. More specifically, vertical farming. So what is vertical farming? How does it work? Vertical farming is farming on a restricted horizontal area and infinite vertical area. And how does it work? It works on the theory of artificial photosynthesis. Well, what is artificial photosynthesis? Artificial photosynthesis means growing crops inside four walls with no sunlight, no soil, and 95% less water compared to traditional farming. Vertical farming has a lot of advantages, but disastrous disadvantages as well. What are the main advantages? Firstly, no pesticides and no fertilizers are used. So this reduces the problem of pollution and cross-contamination of underground waters. Secondly, it is site-specific. What is meant by site-specific? It can be redesigned in ways that it can be built according to the environment. For example, in African countries or third world countries where there's a huge problem of malnutrition and lots of diseases arising due to lack of food, such as kwashiorkor, the artificial farming can give rise to mass production of food, firstly. Secondly, it can produce food which are rich in nutrients via genetically modified crops. In developed cities, there won't be any issues of import and export of food. And secondly, reduction of transportation cost. And thirdly, in restricted spaced countries such as small islands where there is not enough space for growing crops, vertical farming can be a very good idea. But however, vertical farming has its own disadvantages as well. The main disadvantages is elimination of traditional farming can give rise to deforestation in the long term and eventually loss of natural habitats. And that might lead to an increase in carbon dioxide content and increase in temperature, global temperature of the world. Further, if we think about it, rise in sea level due to melting of ice caps and submersion of small islands and freezing of the North Pole, well, so many problems that might arise. Do you guys think that vertical farming is a good idea to implement, given that it is going against all natural processes as it is within four walls? Photosynthesis is being synthesized within four walls, and a whole system of biodiversity is not being implemented as plants growing in the nature. And do you think that artificial photosynthesis is a good idea? Well, for me, I think that on a small scale it might be good, given that traditional farming doesn't become extinct. People still live on traditional farming, and I think that there should be an equilibrium, more traditional farming, but artificial farming should be implemented where it is required. What do you guys think about it? Please leave a comment below, And thank you very much for your attention.